traffic. It may be as high as 20% or low as 5%. And so, you know, if you're driving a lot of traffic, that tends to be a good bit of traffic. You know, 1,000 visitors, you may have 200 visitors. You know, 100, 200, 50 visitors that actually don't get to the actual real page. They get to the fake page. So you want to have your stuff set up too. Okay. You want to have your stuff set up too to to allow yourself to make some money from the fake page. So yeah, and that's about it. I mean, it's not that complicated. I won't overcomplicate this. You just want to be transparent. And if you want to know more information, you can definitely go to Bang, and they have their site policies. So they'll have it like displayed exactly what they want, what they don't want, what they recommend. So definitely read over that if you have any more questions. But just try to make sure you have good content on your site. And with us, you have to realize that none of this stuff is real. For Bing anyway, our 800 numbers aren't real.
Yeah, let me chime in there. So normally, like, what I do, guys, is which I don't know about this particular site, but normally I'll get the 800 numbers because we got other stuff besides Bang that I won't even go into on here. But so I'll get like these 800 numbers, and then I'll record a voicemail, and basically just saying, like, if you reach this voicemail, it means all our associates are busy, at this time, so please leave a message, and have one of our representatives get back with you as soon as possible. So because with Bang, not so much. Google will call them. Like, Google will call those numbers. Bang, not so much. Google definitely will call them. And there's real cheap services out there that you can get these 800 numbers. Just put a recording up, and boom, bam, that's that. And then I think somebody was asking. I just wanted to stop for a minute and answer it because I saw a lot of the same questions coming in. And then let's see, what was the other ones? Oh yeah, and then as far as the account stuff, like, you can get a PO box. Like, I use a lot of I usually do a lot of PO box type stuff. I know in different countries, I don't know, like, I was talking to some guys, they were in Estonia or something like that, and they didn't have that option or something like that. But I know in, like, America and in most places, you can get some sort of a PO box, to have an address. If you want to go, like, and be very much compliant, then you can go and actually get, like, an address from the post office, UPS store, anything like that. And then, like I said, the 800 number, just Google, buy 800 numbers, buy 800 hotline, and they're cheap. I think ours was like $7 a month, $8 a month, so it's not that expensive. And then it just gives you the option to actually do a recording, and you can set the recording to come on at any time you want. And obviously, you just want to leave it to be a voicemail that comes on all the time, basically. So I think that was pretty much. Let's see, Google, you don't want to put an order button on the page side, or to have the button go to another site. Okay. Brian, basically what you don't want to do when Shakri showed, when he clicked the order button and then it went to an actual another domain, it was our domain, whatever it was, New Garcinia, then it went to miraclegarciniacambogia.com. So it went to another order form that we're actually affiliates for. So with Google, whatever it wants it to stay on that same domain. So if they're clicking on New Garcinia, exactly, yeah, keep the domain, keep it on the same domain, exactly. There you go. All right, cool. You go ahead, Shakri.
All right, cool, perfect. All right, so that's that about the fake site. Like I said, don't overcomplicate it. With Bang, you don't have to go all out like that, with having real addresses and real numbers. But like I said, it's always good to kind of cover your tracks. So if you can afford it and you are the type of paranoid person like me, I would definitely go for the route of having a real address and a real phone number. So with that said, we can move on here into massive testing. This is the next to having your fake page up and having your site not being banned. and having a good, compliant account. The next thing is to use landing page genius and use the tools for massive testing. And there's a lot. I train a lot of guys. We got some clients that want some extra help, and what I notice a lot about them is that they, even when I tell them to do this, they still don't do it. I don't know why. They just find a reason not to do this, and this is the most important. Um, this is the most important to the whole system, and they still don't do it. So I want to stress this. If you're gonna do this, do this. If you're gonna do anything, do this. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have a fake address, you're gonna have this and that. You're gonna have your cokefile.php. You know, you can have all that stuff fucked up. But if you don't do this, then just quit. All right. This is the most important part of the whole system. All right. So what I mean by massive testing is that you want to test different elements of your page, and I'm actually bring this up. And so let's go here. So you want to have at least 20 headlines. You want to start with the headlines first. You want to sit down and write 20 different headlines. Now you don't have to come up with your own headlines. I think that's what a lot of guys think. It's like, oh man, I gotta sit down and write a headline. I don't know how to write. You don't have to do that. You can go and swipe. So you can go and type in like you learned on the first webinar. Go around and look at different diet advertorials. Go to Google and type in diet advertorial. Type in advertorial and type another keyword like Helen Hasman. You can actually go in and type Helen Hasman into Google, and which is the name of the reporter that everyone uses, and type advertorial, and then you can visit different sites. See, this is a different headline. Today's diet tip. So you can actually look at different headlines, different advertorials, and take their headlines and start there. So you don't have to make up your own stuff. All right. So that's the first thing you want to do. You want to go in and you want to come up with a list of different 20 different headlines, and then you want to simply use Landing Page Genius to set up the rotation. And you do that if you read over your Landing Page Genius guide. And you took about 15 minutes out of your day to learn it and figure it out. You would know that you just go here into your HTML editor, you open up your file with Dreamweaver, and you just paste. You just copy over your first headline here, and you paste it here. You change the number to 3 or 4, whatever number you're using. Just make sure the numbers are different, and you just have a different headline here. All right, and that's it. You do that 20 times. You set it up once, and you should be good to go. So I wouldn't get too bogged down on technical aspects of Landing Page Genius, because at the end of the day, it's nothing more than one word you need to memorize. You need to know that you need to have the word snippet, underscore, and a letter, and a number in brackets, and an equal sign, and your headline in between apostrophes, and close with a bracket, with the semicolon. All right, but that's all you need to know as far as testing headlines, and just test 20 of them. So this is the most important thing you need to focus on, is finding 20 headlines. And you need to do this before you even put your campaign up. You need to have all this stuff set up. I know you get that little antsy feeling when you have everything set up, ready to go. You only have one headline. You're like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. We just run it and see what happens. Don't do that. Don't start bad habits. Not testing things the right way. All right, it's the first and most important thing in the world. All right, and this is what took us to the next level. This is another thing that we learned from Greg. This is another thing that really helped us out, is the massive testing that he was doing and that we weren't doing and nobody else is doing, because it's the words that make the money. It's not anything else. It's the words. The words are powerful. That's something that a lot of people they miss, because a lot of guys come in here not from a marketing background. They're just like, oh, I want to make some money online. But at the end of the day, marketing runs the whole world. If you have a product to sell, you got to be able to sell it. How do you sell it? You sell it through influence. You sell it through words, through images, and that's what we're doing here. We're marketers, so it's the words that's going to sell. And so that's the most important thing. It's not your damn hosting. It's not your goddamn fucking tool that you want to buy. It's not the cloaker. It's not all this other shit. It's your words. It's the most important thing. That's, I know you can get confused and get kind of lost in all this stuff, setting all this stuff up. I don't know how to do this, or what's a server, or how to connect here, or I don't know how to do HTML. All that stuff is okay, but it's just a means to an end. Once you get all that stuff set up, that's just the beginning. The next part of the whole process is turning words into money. Turning words into money. I know all you guys know a guy who always puts his foot in his mouth when he's around a girl and never closes the deal. I know all you guys know somebody like that, and I know somebody like that. You know what I mean? So, and you got some guys that just always say the right thing. They always say the right thing when they go out, and it's just it's like that, and it's the words that are definitely causing that to happen. All right, so take that to the bank. I want to kind of spend some time on that. Don't overlook this part of it. All right. The next element you want to start out testing is your sub headline, and this here is the sub headline. So as you guys can see, that this shocking report was created by Women's Health to expose the truth behind a very weird diet. All right. Now, just to give you guys an example, I added the number 1 to this sub headline. I think I put this shocking report was created by Women's Health to expose the truth behind one very weird diet, and it bombed. I mean, it bombed, not one conversion. And I'm not talking like the other headline had 1 conversion, this one had 0. I'm talking like the other headline, sub headline had like 7 conversions, and this one had 0 after thousands of clicks. So that's how important this stuff is. Like, you change a fucking 1 character, and it bombs. It turns the whole page. It turns to shit. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the excitement. That's the thing I love about this, is that you can be you're in competition with all these other guys who promote the same page, and everybody has the same page, and everybody's ripping down everybody else's stuff. So the question is, like, how do you make any money if everybody's stealing everybody else's shit? Well, number 1, you improve upon the page, and that's the SDI, swipe, deploy, and improve. You improve it, and once you find out, once you start testing, you'll hit something that just works so well, and that you'll blow everybody out the water. You have something it'll turn your money into, like, it'll double, triple, quadruple your money, and it's the most amazing feeling in the world when you find something that works so well. You're like, holy shit. A lot of times it's by accident. You accidentally put the wrong number in or did something like that. But you guys have realized that, just need to realize that making a small change and making these different changes is where the big money is. All right, you've gotten something, you gotten somewhere to start. You got an advertorial, you got a headline, you've got a product, you got all this stuff set up, you got something initially to go off of, but it's the actual the testing and the different variation that you come up with, and then finding that particular thing that works well, that's going to make you a shit ton of money. All right. So you want to first start with your headlines and then start with your sub headlines. All right. I suggest 20 each. So I think 20 times 20 is 400. So that's gonna give you 400. Right?
And let me point out a couple things real quick too, Shakri, while you're doing that. Excuse me. Is some of the things I focus on, which you guys will find, like, trust me, I'm not like some pro copywriter, half-ass at best, but still good enough to make a lot of money doing this. So what I normally do is, what I find can make a lot of difference. Like, I like to change the numbers and the amount of pounds lost, but make sure that you stay congruent. So you want to make sure you stay congruent with on the page, because on the page, throughout the copy on this page, it's going to be talking about how much weight some of these chicks have lost and all that kind of stuff. So you want to play around with different numbers. For some reason, different numbers will resonate more with more people. So you can play around with them joints. And then another thing that we try that can make a big difference sometimes is we'll use celebrity names. versus just the word celebrity. But I think celebrity wound up outperforming, but we did like Rachel Ray and a couple of others that were doing pretty good. And then we just put celebrities in there itself, and then wound up outperforming the rest of them. So, just little subtle things like that you can try in there. And then if you're running like a trial diet offer, you can put like get your free bottle today, or try a bottle today, that kind of stuff, and creating scarcity, which is throughout the page, like only 17 bottles left. You can try to add the end of it, whatever the case may be. And there's a script that you can get that's more advanced. I don't want to get too far ahead, but there's a script you can get that can change the number of bottles. As people click on it, it'll like change the number of bottles that's left, stuff like that. But anyway, that's more advanced. But anyway, I just want to give you guys some tips on like different things to test out within the headline. So names, different numbers of pounds lost, try a free bottle. That's only if it's a trial diet offer you're running. Try a free bottle today, get a free bottle today. That kind of stuff can help as well. So anyway, so go ahead, Shakri.
Yeah, definitely. That's another thing. I would if you're writing these headlines yourself, if you're not swiping things, I wouldn't try to go too far away from the control. I wouldn't try to just make up something out of the blue. What I would try to do is change something small, like John said, change 23 pounds to 27 pounds, change belly fat to stomach fat, change 1 month to 30 days. Keep it the same, but try to change a few words here and there, because what I found is that if you have something that everybody is using, there's a reason for it. So it's going to be kind of difficult to kind of beat this headline, because it's everybody's using it for a reason, and it's because it works. So if you're gonna change it, I would start small first. So good point. And the next thing you want to do is, after you have tested you have your 20 headlines, your 20 sub headlines. Actually open this up. You want to then test images. All right. And the images are really important. Again, like the images themselves can make or break a landing page. And what we do is we test this image right here, this women's health image. And there's tons of different images you can test. And I think this actually rotates. Yeah, it does. So we're using Landing Page Genius, and as you can see here, we're testing two different images. We're testing Dr. Oz and the women's health. But getting images is pretty easy. I mean, you can just go to Google Images and actually show you guys. You type in women's health magazine, and look how many magazine covers you can test. A lot. It's a lot of different things to test, and there's no reason why there's no reason for like, oh well, I don't know what to test, or I mean all this stuff. And actually, at first the image we're testing now wasn't the image that was everywhere. It was actually this image here, and I found out through testing that I actually beat that image with a different image. So always test. So that's the three things I would focus on initially. Have 20 headlines, have 20 sub-headlines, and have 20 images. That's a lot of variations, but what else are you gonna do? You know what I mean? If you're on a tight budget, I would maybe take that down a little bit. If you're extremely strapped for cash, I would take that down to maybe 5 headlines, 5 sub-headlines, and 5 images. Because what you're going to need to do is test enough of each variation for it to be statistically significant. All right. So if you're getting paid $65 on a payout, you want to have each variation at least run up to $65. So if you have 20 times 20 times 20, which I think is like 8,000 variations, if I'm not mistaken. That's 8,000 times 65, which is a lot of money. But you be able to, you'll be able to figure out which ones are losers, which ones are winners pretty quickly as conversions come in, especially when you start getting more than one conversion. Um, but I always like to go with more data, more different variations than less. Um, so, but a good rule of thumb is to, like, if you're going to spend, let's say, $1,000 for testing, a good rule of thumb is to have take the amount of money you're investing and divide the payout by it, and that's how many variations you should have. So the payout is 50. You got $1,000. You should have about 20 different variations, and that should give you enough data per variation to figure out if something is profitable or something is not. And if it's not, you should just cut it off. All right. So, and then also the call to action. Let me actually show you guys something that we've tested that actually helped out our page here. I put this order now button here underneath the video, and it actually helped out conversions a lot. I actually tested this. I actually need to test it more because things always change. But my initial thought was that people come to this page and the video starts playing and it gets annoying, and they're either going to close the video out, close the page out, or go down to the video and pause it. So I figured that people were coming down to the page and watching the video because it was auto playing, and then that if they wanted to order it, they would need a button to click. But I didn't see any type of prominent button for people to click. And people are so busy with their lives and doing what they're doing. You want to treat people like they're dumb. I won't say people are dumb, but you want to treat them like they're a child, kind of, because they got so many other stuff going on in their mind, and they're busy. And the internet is a really place where you can constantly just porn alone will just get your mind kind of distracted. So there's so much free porn out there. I always think that people are always looking for porn. So I want to hurry up and get their mind get them hooked in before they go back to X videos or something. That's just how I think. Not to say I'm always on the sites. I'm just saying, there's always something else out there that can get people's attention. Politics, entertainment sites. So you want to make sure you really have something that really grabs their attention before they go somewhere else. So that actually helped out our conversion rates. So, and added these little GIFs, these little arrow GIFs here. I don't know if you guys can see, but it kind of like moving, pointing to step 1 and step 2. So yeah, so and then when you get more advanced with it, like we tested out, Rachel Ray here, image here, tested out this girl's image, this image here actually did better than the other image. Actually added this image here with the before and after. This wasn't in the page, so we did a lot of testing in this page. And once you get more advanced, once you got a good headline, sub-headline, and image, you want to test out different elements of the page. And we never stop testing. We always split test. Because if you wake up one day and let's say you spend $5-6 grand, and let's say you spend $5-6 grand, you make $5-6 grand, you realize that if you could have just changed one element on the page, let's say an image, and you're thinking it won't matter much, but once you look at your data, you're like, holy shit, this one image, boosted my ROI by 50%. So you take 50% of your five, and that's $2,500. So you're making an extra $2,500, just from testing a different image. And that's an extra $2,500 you wouldn't have made. So that's how we start really thinking, like, wow, this little stuff that we're not doing, we're putting money on the table. And it's not always, and we're going to talk about this next, but it's not always optimization and scaling. It's not always getting more keywords or adding more accounts, or it's not always about that. A lot of times it's about taking what you have and just kind of treating them better. It's kind of like, you got a wife, you got a girl. A lot of times you have bad relationships or whatever. It's not about you going out and find somebody else better. It's just you got to treat it better. You got to spend more time with it. You got to mind what you already have. You know what I'm saying? So what we do is, if we want to scale our campaigns, there's a couple of things you can do. Number one, you can focus on the ad CTR. All right. So in one of our campaigns, let me actually show you some data here. So we can actually talk about some real shit, not no theoretical shit here. So let me actually go down. This is actually a test campaign. See, it's not a real campaign. It's a campaign I ran just to test some things out. Let's see here. Alright, so I'm going to actually show you guys the type of data, type of difference that an ad makes as far as your CTR. So let me actually pull this up. Give me 1 second. John, while I pull this up, can you maybe talk to him a little bit? Talk to the people?
Shit, they don't want to hear me now, boy. You got everybody all hyped up. Give them this real shit, man. Yeah, Mike Jones was like Shaqri spitting that crack. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I mean, what you said, really made a good point. A lot of the times, and that's one of the things.